G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke here, there you go. Today, got this mulberry, and she's a beaut. Got this mulberry tree, she's a bit of a beaut. It's one of those trees, you know, some trees you get and you feel like you haven't worked on the damn thing, and you then go and look at it and you think, geez, that's starting to look pretty good, and you haven't even done any work to it. So that's what this tree is. I almost can't remember working on it. Either I was extremely intoxicated, which is very likely, or I just did it self. The only thing I remember, I air-laid it off of parents. My parents had a really old mulberry, and I remember always eating the mulberries off the tree. It's an English black mulberry. I remember always eating the mulberries off the tree. Then when I moved out and got into bonsai, I thought, oh, it'd be really cool to have a piece of that history, you know, me and my brothers out there picking the mulberries, eating the mulberries, getting all, you know, stained fingers, stained lips, you know, loving it. So I thought, oh, anyway, how can I keep a piece of this old tree? I thought, oh, maybe I'll do an air layer. So I looked around the tree for some air layers. I did 5 air layers. I got the other 2 out there in the garden, which you've seen. The other 2 lived for 1.5 years after they were cut from the main parent tree, and then they died. I don't know why they died. I think, to me, it looked like the fresh buds got eaten out by some insects or something, and then it just kept bleeding without being able to push any shoots. So I had roots still, because it was always bleeding, but then the 2 died. But anyway, I had 3 survive. This is a better one of all of them. I've put this in a bonsai pot. I remember doing that, well, maybe I don't, but a couple of years ago, I put it in this pot. And I've always thought it looks pretty good, but this year, I don't know, just the shape of it, all the branching, you know, you get some branching crosses back over this way and a bit out that way, a bit out this way. You know, I mean, I've done some work to it. I've selected some branching, cut some of the old branching off. I don't even think I've wired it, to be honest. I think I just selected the branches that I didn't like, cut them off, and the branches that were left are bloody perfect, you know. I mean, you can always improve the tree, but I think it looks pretty good. Anyway, I'll give you a spin. So, probably around there's the front. I mean, that's what I chose as the front. And that, yeah, I mean, that's pretty close to what I would say is the front. You can maybe look at it that way a little bit, maybe that way a little bit. That's the front there that I've chosen. There was a branch coming out here which I cut off. There was a big branch here which I cut off and kept this little one here, which is starting to fill in that area. Yeah, I really can't remember doing much else to the tree, to be honest. It literally has done itself. It's been a really good tree, and I mean, I could try and take some credit for looking at the air layer and getting good air layer, but I don't even think that's the case. It was just luck. You can see the swelling around the base here. I'll give you a bit of a close-up. I'll give you a close-up while I have a chat about it. I've had enough of seeing my ugly face. Yeah, so that's a beautiful tree. Mulberry, English mulberry, black mulberry. You can see the base here. It's starting to flare out. That's where I did the air layer, and the root system on it's pretty good. It's funny, they have orange roots, which is really weird. In case you're wondering what that crisscross pattern is on the moss here, that's because I put some mesh over it to keep the blackbirds off. Otherwise the blackbirds dig all the moss up. So it it works pretty well, and then I just take it off when I want to do a video or show the tree. I don't show them in shows, but when people come over for tea, I'll grab a tree out and put it on the table or something, you know what I mean. I'll give you a close-up of the leaves. Pretty nice leaves on it, beautiful green, and you can see in here, look at all the mulberries, absolutely loaded with mulberries. It's going to look really awesome when these mulberries change colour, and I'll do an update when they change colour, and they go sort of red and then black, and you'll have some black ones on the tree while you got some red ones, sort of stagger the harvest a bit. And I tell you what, they taste every bit as good as I remember when I was a kid eating them off the parents' tree. It's beautiful, bloody beautiful. See, there's some mulberries there. It's got some weird bugs on it, but they're not doing any damage. They're like, almost look like flying ants. Not doing any damage. I think they're just chilling out away from the sun. I'll keep an eye on it, but I really don't think they're doing any damage. Yeah, it hasn't, as a tree, it didn't get any, real care as far as water. So each one of these, I'm not joking, each one of these nodes here is 1 year's growth. So although that's straight, it still has some sort of jaggedness about it, because each one of those is a year's growth. You got to remember, this is a 50-year-old limb, because I cut this as one of the main limbs, and this tree was planted literally 55 years ago now. So each one of those divisions in the internode, which is a funny sort of internodes on the mulberry, they're a little bit like a lignum type thing. It's hard to explain, but certainly the deadwood on a mulberry is no good. It'll just rot out and get really soft. A little bit of deadwood there, but I don't, yeah, a little bit of deadwood there, but I don't do anything to carve or protect deadwood, because it's pretty well useless for its deadwood. But I'll tell you what, it makes up for it. Yeah, so deadwood's pretty much useless. But I tell you what, with all the colours and bright greens and just beautiful leaves, even the leaves, you know, like I haven't chopped it back or done anything to it this spring. Even a nice shape, nice size, fit the tree well. It's like an upright sort of slenderish tree, more feminine, I suppose you would say. Just an absolutely beautiful tree. Done it all on its own, as I say. I can't take any compliments for the tree at all, really, because it did itself. Yeah, so I'll give you a close-up spin of the tree, and yeah, I'll catch you later. So cheers for watching Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe. Really enjoy doing these videos. This is probably going to be the last one that you'll see at this house. I'll just give you a last look around the yard, actually. We'll give you a last look. This is the sort of fernery at this house, halfway house that we're at. Dogs are still getting around. This one's deaf, so he won't hear me. Max! Max! You got to really yell. See that? He doesn't hear nothing. He's alright. Hey, good boy. Hey, he's a good boy. Hey, sometimes gets a bit grumpy in his old age. He's even scared me once or twice. The old Foxy sort of sometimes gets a bit temperamental over his food, but he's alright. Here's the other one. He's come for a look. Lucky. This one's still, he's pretty well the same age, but he's still got all his hearing. He's a Foxy cross with a Border Collie, which is a weird cross, but he's a really good dog. Beautiful dog. So there's the two dogs. Anyway, I'll give you the last look at the yard. There's all my junk there piled up. It was under tarps, keeping it out the weather, but it's going to go next week when we move. So yeah, I got the elm there. It's got some nice growth on. I did a trim back on that not long ago. Silver birch, I did a trim on that. Apple's going alright. I haven't done an update on the apple, but the flowers are gone now. It's got leaves all over it. It's still holding on to the old stalks of the flowers, so let's see whether or not some of them might turn into apples. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter if it doesn't this year. Yeah, crepe myrtle. I'll just do a quick walk by. There's a bit of an update on the river red gum. It's got all new fresh leaves all over it now. It's growing really well. Also did a trim on me hawthorn. Wisteria is growing really well. Oh, there's the other two mulberries. I'll just show you. So there's another mulberry. It's really long and leggy. I've got to work out cutting them back. I've got to get into it. I find it hard to get back budding on them, so see how it goes. See this mulberry here? It's got some really good strong branching. But then see, it's had some dieback on some of the branching, so I'm not sure what's going on. It's just self-selecting what it wants to keep, what it wants to get rid of. See what happens. Oh, here's the bottle brush. It's hard. I want to do a video on this one just to show you the bottle brush, but I'm not sure when it's going to have its best flowers to show you. Do you know what I mean? So like, it's got a lot of flowers on it now, but I want to do the video when it's at its prime. I'm not sure now it's quite the prime, although it is looking pretty good. So it's going to be hard to choose when to work on, not work on it, but when to give you a good spin of the tree. So that's some of the meshing that I was talking about. Put that around the bases of my tree. So that's the bottle brush. I'll just give you a quick walk past everything else. Everything's got good growth on it. We're in spring now. A lot of it needs chopping back. That's the pond. Yeah, the pond that I was growing in this Chinese elm needs cutting back again, so that's growing pretty well this year. This old olive needs a cut back soon. I'll do a video on that soon. You can see it's got some nice long shoots on it. Beautiful tree. Just absolutely love this tree. One of my favourites. Yeah, there's another olive I've been working on. Anyway, so that's pretty much the last look at the place. You won't see it again, which is a good thing, because I want to get out of here as soon as possible and move on to a new property, which will be pretty cool. No worries. Cheers. I'll give you a spin of the tree to finish off, and cheers for watching.